We are already halfway through the preliminary round, and therefore we now have results for another 2 heats. 14 more spots were available to the 33 songs in them, and you have made a decision.
Once again, it was a thrilling voting phase in which a number of songs looked like qualifiers throughout, some of which ended up doing it while others flopped. Let's therefore go and look at which ones did it, starting with Heat 5.
The way this works is like in the last 2 results shows, where we show you 3 countries each time before revealing which of them has made it to the quarterfinals. We begin with the first qualifier from this 5th heat, which is either Tokelau, Tunisia, or Georgia. Tokelau has yet to make it out of a preliminary round, while the other 2 both at least made it to the semifinals, Georgia even to the final. Who takes the first step to go this far now? Well, it is Georgia.
And if you call, I won't pick up a sword. I won't let you break me no more.
She was Georgia's spokesperson last edition, and now is in the quarterfinals. Kind of like Nutsa did last time, so maybe that's a sign for more to come. Anyway, let's look at the next trio of countries, which are Armenia, Samoa, and New Zealand. Both Armenia and New Zealand qualified from the preliminaries before, while Samoa participates for the first time ever. Can a debutante finally get to the quarterfinals, or will we see a repeat quarterfinalist? Qualifier number 2 is New Zealand.
Like a teardrop falls upon the page, flicking pages so they know your name. And you wonder if you're ever gonna let go. But till this point, it's been everything that you know. If the moment never comes.
They were really unlucky in the quarterfinals last edition, missing out on their first semifinal on a tiebreaker. Let's hope that the same won't happen to them again. Oh well. Let's go over to trio number 3, which consists of Togo, Morocco, and the Åland Islands. Togo couldn't get far on its debut last edition, while the other 2 have both been in every edition so far. Morocco has yet to reach its first final, while the Åland Islands are the only non-automatic finalist of this edition to never miss the final so far. Will this streak continue? Qualifier number 3 is the Åland Islands.
My love that make me hate you, baby. Stop acting like you won't need me again. What are you made of? A lover, a traitor, a poison, a savior.
The streak is at least not broken yet, so there's a chance it will continue this edition once more. Well, none of the other participants here have such a streak, obviously, but they can at least qualify now. Or rather, either the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Canada, or Tokelau can. Only Canada made it to a final before from these 3, though their artists this time actually beat the country's only finalist in the national selection to get here. Is that a sign for success? We can confirm that it indeed is. Canada is the 4th qualifier.
You believe there's a choice to listen to your own voice when it says you were made for this.
Well, with that, Canada continues to make it at least to the quarterfinals. Last time, they were quite robbed there, so they sure hope to do better this time. Who can also hope to do better is qualifier number 5, which is either Mongolia, Bonaire, or Tunisia. Mongolia already reached a final on their debut, while the other 2 are still waiting. Which one of them will be the lucky one now? It is Tunisia.
After really underperforming last edition, Tunisia proved that they can in fact still make it to quarterfinals. Congratulations to you. Now, 2 more spots left from this heat, so let's look at the next set of countries, which are Japan, Armenia, and Johnston Atoll. Japan was the only one of these to make it out of the preliminaries last edition, and the only one to ever reach a final. Can they do it again? Or will one of the other 2 take the spot now? Well, qualifier number 6 is Japan.
Don't say you're not okay. Push it down and stay away from any kind of pain. Stay empty. Hey, don't listen when they say.
They can do it again indeed. Which also brings us to the final qualifier of this heat. 11 songs are still in the running. Only 1 goes through now, while the other 10 have to leave already. The tension really couldn't be higher. Will we end up with a more expected result? Or do we witness another moment like last week, when Poland shocked everyone by sending fan favorites like Italy or the Turks and Caicos Islands home in tears? Qualifier number 7. From Heat 5 is Morocco.
Et je t'attends encore, et je t'attends encore.
They only ever failed to make it out of the preliminaries once, and now they remain on track to maybe get to their first ever final at last. At least, they got to the quarterfinals again, so that's a first step. Now, unfortunately, the remaining 10 songs are no longer able to make it, especially sad for Togo, who for the 2nd edition in a row come 8th, just a few points short of the qualification spots. Oh well, maybe next time will be their lucky edition.
Now this were of course only half of the qualifiers today, with Heat 6 still ahead of us. So let's take a look at it.
Once again, we reveal 3 countries from the 16 competing in this heat every time we present a qualifier. Of course, they don't have to worry if they don't qualify directly when being called up, as they can still qualify later. We start with the trio of Brazil, Austria, and Nigeria. All 3 have good chances to make it here, but which one will do it for sure? The first qualifier is Austria.
It's just that they painted on me or shattered into a million pieces. The battle was lost, but I went no war. Fight for my dreams like never before.
After their worst ever result last time, Austria is back in the quarterfinals. They never made it out of those, but maybe this edition will finally change that? It would sure be poetic that in the year they won Eurovision, they finally succeed here as well. Now let's take a look at the next set of countries, which are Sri Lanka, Anguilla, and the United States. Only the US has been further than the preliminaries so far, even coming 2nd on their debut. Can they do it again, or does one of the other 2 escape the heat this time? The second qualifier from Heat 6 is the United States.
It's your turn. 'Cause God knows what you did. I told him maybe he'll forgive.
Looks like the extremely patriotic energy of a certain Fandovision participant called Tony has caught on in this contest as well. Either way, the US once again makes it out of the preliminaries, continuing their streak of never failing there. Another country to not fail here today will be either Tonga, Kingman Reef, or Barbados. Once again, a debutante has the chance to finally break the curse they seem to be under this edition. Or maybe one of the Pacific Islands will get their moment of glory now. Qualifier number 3 is Tonga.
After 2 failed attempts with borrowed artists, Tonga finally makes it to another round with a song in Tongan. Congratulations to making your country and probably all of Oceania proud at last. Let's see if we get another first-time quarter-finalist when looking at the trio of Kazakhstan, Cameroon, and the Northern Mariana Islands. Will Oceania be made proud 2 times in a row, or will we at last get that debutante qualifier? Maybe Kazakhstan can get a better result than 59th place, which they curiously reached twice already. The 4th qualifier is Cameroon.
After 6 of the 15 debutantes already had to leave, Cameroon at last gets 1 to the quarterfinals. Congratulations to Yusult, who reaches them for the 2nd time already. Well, with that, there are still 3 qualifiers to reveal, and the first of them will be either Sri Lanka, Sweden, or Anguilla. Can Sweden once more reach a top 10 result this edition, or will one of the other 2 at least reach the quarterfinals for the first time? We can confirm that the 5th qualifier is Anguilla.
She indeed seems to be a good girl, at least good enough for our voters to make her advance here. Well, the tension rises, as only 2 spots are left, the first of which going to either Kingman Reef, Slovakia, or Brazil. They all made it to a quarter-final before Slovakia and Brazil even got to a final already. However, one of them will for sure not make it this time, while only one being guaranteed a spot in the quarter-finals now. And that one is Kingman Reef.
We sure hope Chelsea won't end her run as tragic as Kingman Reef's debut entry did, so let's for now just congratulate her for this qualification. Well, just one more spot left, yet so many potential favorites still in the running. Who made it? Who will shockingly flop today? The results have been rather close this heat, so many countries almost made it. However, only one ultimately did aside from the 6 we already announced. And that one is Nigeria.
Nigeria adds yet another African country to the qualifier list that today got quite a few of them already. Really seems to be this continent's lucky day, even if not all countries from there were quite so lucky.
Unfortunately, this means the end for the remaining 9 songs of this heat, some of which fell just a few points short of making it as well. We wish you all the best for your next attempts, regardless. Now, as for the 7 countries to make it, as well as the 7 from the 5th heat, let's take a look at where we see them next.
As with the last few heats, the allocation was conducted through a single draw over all 14 countries, with no more than 2 and no less than 1 from each heat being allowed in each quarter-final. Georgia and Japan have yet to be drawn into any quarter-final, which will happen after the last heat concludes. We wish the best to all these quarter-finalists.
Well, that's it for today. Tomorrow, you get to vote in Heat 7 and 8. Next week, I'm back for Heat 9, while Andres is back for Heat 11 the week after that. See you there!